fall of the trucking company Yellow is being called into question. His bankruptcy filing now drawing attention to the $700 million pandemic-era loan it received from the federal government. And over the years, Yellow has racked up hefty bills. As of late March, it had an outstanding debt of about $1.5 billion. Of that, more than $729 million is owed to the federal government. The collapse is also causing a ripple effect in the economy. It was a key part of the supply chain, once moving nearly 50,000 shipments a day. Here now to talk more is Associate Professor of Operations Management at Southern Illinois University, Greg Deyong. Greg, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Greg, can you talk to us about the potential ripple effects for Americans and the supply chain?
Sure. Well, Yellow is a big part of the process in the LTL, or less than truckload shipment sphere. They're the fifth largest in that market. It's a very fragmented market, so the top five only make up about 25%, but they're still a really big player. And it's a very competitive market, so lots of people are trying to ship, businesses are trying to ship, and it just takes away an option for some of those shippers.
Mr. Deyong, were they ever financially viable? I have since read different things since this filing.
They've had a lot of struggles. They have not been profitable for a number of years. They did show a little profit this spring, but that's an anomaly. And in fact, even if you look back a decade or 20 years, Yellow has really struggled to be profitable. When they were profitable, they weren't very profitable. So they've been a struggling player in this market for quite some time.
And then a lot of this, if I understand correctly, has more to do with the management structure and how when they made a merger earlier on, about 15, 20 years ago, they never fully consolidated the two companies.
They have been in an acquisition mode for several decades, and it's very hard to integrate those into this less than truckload market because it requires a tremendous amount of coordination among just the company itself, but to try to coordinate among several companies has just been really difficult for Yellow, and they've struggled mightily with this. They were showing a little bit of progress with their One Yellow initiative this last year, but it's really been hard for them to do this integration. At the same time, the trucking industry is changing so quickly with technology and regulations that they've just really kind of never caught up and integrated the assets that they purchased.
And Mr. Deyong, dare I mention also the union factor in all of this? Because at one point, Yellow tried to change the title and demands of certain jobs without having that conversation with different unions.
They've had a very acrimonious relationship with the union, and it's both sides are blaming each other right now. There's a lot of finger pointing going on. Yellow went so far as to file a lawsuit against the union this spring for breach of contract for what Yellow would call blocking their One Yellow initiative. The union, on the other hand, saw that Yellow was not making its required contributions to the pension plan, felt like the Yellow was trying to take advantage of them, and it's really just spiraled into a lot of very acrimonious and confrontational relationships, and that drives away customers, and that's ultimately the problem that Yellow faced.
And that's exactly where I was going next, because in the end of all of this, you have customers who are like, listen, I just want to get my things moved, and I'm not going to pay more to do it. I will find a less expensive way to do this. Do you anticipate costs going up over this for certain customers?
Well, certainly in this type of a market, actually finding the less expensive approach is not what the companies are looking for. They're looking for that consistency, the reliability, and the ability to know that when I ship this, it's going to get where it's going, so I don't have to worry about carrying extra inventory or shipping things early. All of that costs money, and everybody's trying to be efficient. So definitely, in the short term, there's going to be some cost increases because whenever a large player falls out, there's going to be some capacity that needs to be taken up. Longer term, it's not a tremendous problem because there is some excess capacity in the less than truckload market right now. So there is sufficient capacity. Plus, of course, Yellow is actually going to enter back in with the Chapter 11 bankruptcy and try to function in the oncoming weeks and months. So it's not like that capacity is gone forever. If it turns into a liquidation situation, Yellow's assets are very valuable, and somebody will pick them up. One of their competitors will move into those markets and take over those vehicles, facilities, and routes.
Mr. Deyong, thank you so much for joining us this morning to break it all down, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.